Okay, here we go then. The last race of the day, it's all to play for. Race 2, it all comes down to the next 14 laps. And away they go. Now, and there's Darren spinning out as well. Darren, there's contact there, pushed Kieran wide. Oh, but he's gone off. What's going on? Shane's also there in the BMW. Oh, nearly loses it. Kieran's going to have to slow down. No, he's gone too much. It's Josh here, and he is leading. This is fantastic for Josh. Oh, a bit of a love tap. And Josh, oh my God, who's going to take it? I think it's Darren. I think it's going to be Rob. Rob gets it. He's actually on the grass. This isn't good for Tom. And he's made the move. Look at that. Through Eau Rouge. Oh, that's Mike. Mike's gone off. Oh, Craig sideways. Big time. Is it going to be enough? No, Sam takes it and takes the title ahead of Tom. Hello and welcome to the FeckWrest Online Touring Car Championship. My name is Tom and today I am joined by Kieran, who has returned from back when we commentated on the Brisker V8s.
Oh.
So we are looking at Craig Kellett, our current leader for the championship. We are on the second half of the season now, round 6 at Catalunya. And Kieran, do you think Darren can catch Craig and take the lead of the championship, or do you think Craig's got it in the bag?
It's a bit hard one. Darren still has got the chance, but it's about if he can keep Craig behind him or not.
Yeah.
If he keeps him behind for the rest of the season, he'll trickle the points in bit by bit. I think he might still have a chance.
Yeah. Well, as we've seen, the rounds and the points are counting down, but as we're already seeing, Craig, the points gap is increasing every round. Let's have a look at Catalunya and look at the track itself and look at the entry list to see who has entered into the race. So round 6 of the FeckWrest Touring Cars is at Catalunya in Spain. The 2.8 mile circuit will be 12 laps long. So let's have a little look at the entry list. Sam returns in the teams to help Darren after not racing at Red Bull. Kieran and Tom are there together for K-Tech, and of course Rob and Craig are there for both Elite Racing. All the independents have turned up. The only one to not show for Catalunya, unfortunately, is Chris Hensby after his first race at Red Bull Ring. Qualifying was the usual, but this time Craig didn't get pole position. It was taken by Darren Parker. So let's have a look at race 1 and find out what happens. Here is your grid for race 1 here at Catalunya. Darren Parker is on the front row of the grid on pole position for the Team Parker Racing Renault Megane. Craig Kellett is next to him in the Nissan GTR for Elite Racing. Row 2, Sam Parker in the second of the Team Parker Racing Renault Meganes. Nissan GTR of Harry Cook is next to him. Row 3, we've got Mark Nicol in the Renault Megane, and next to him is Rob Pellet in the second of the Elite Racing Nissan GTRs. Row 4, we've got Stephen Heath in the Subaru WRX, and next to him is Mike Kuipers in the Nissan GTR. Row 5, we've got the two K-Tech Racing Subaru WRXs of Tom Foster and Kieran Thomas, and at the back row of the grid is Josh Hardy in the Renault Megane and Joe Burrows in the Mazda Atenza. Okay, we're here for race 1 at Catalunya. Darren is on pole position and Craig is on second. Of the way they go. It's a good start from Heafy as usual.
Good start from Craig as well.
Yeah, looking good. So look at Mike. That's an interesting weaving to warm up the tyres. Yeah. And already it looks like Harry's gone off. Bit of a push. Maybe he could recover from it. No, he's gone off. Oh, there's contact. Yeah. And so that's Harry who's already off. Let's have a look and see where Heathy is. Heathy's just up further, so I think Heathy's not too bad. He's not been affected by it. But let's have a little look. Oh, before we do look at replay, that's Tom who's gone off as well. So Tom's off in the gravel. Tom down to the back of the grid with Harry, and that's Josh just on the back as well. So this is already a little bit chaotic for Catalunya. Tom nearly going into into Josh. So yeah, let's have a little look at the replays of these and find out what's gone on here, and find out what happened to Harry. Let's go on board with Harry and Harry's start and find out exactly what went on. So he actually had a good start. He's got behind Darren here. I think it was, he thought he was going to crash into Darren worse than what that was. Oh, the contact. And it's actually just pushed him straight into the tyre barrier. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're right. I think he overbraked himself and then thought he was going to go into Darren, so aborted ship basically. Yeah. So let's have a little look at what happened with Heafy. Again, a look at it from the start, or we can watch Harry because we might be able to get a better idea of what happened. So look at the start from Heafy. Fantastic in those Subarus. A little bit of a push there, but nothing unusual. And then all of a sudden, Harry's just gone onto the grass. He actually does still hit Darren there, look.
Yeah.
Oh. As an actual fact, Heafy doesn't get affected too bad. It was a heavy contact, but I thought that might just push him straight off onto the other side of the track, but it didn't. So Heafy's got away with it.
And there goes Tom.
And there goes Tom. Lastly, let's have a little look at Josh from the start. We can see what happens because Josh actually ends up spinning out somewhere further down the line, so we can find out, piece it all together. So it's unfortunately bogging down on the start, which is notorious for the Renaults. Josh is ahead here, the two Subarus are ahead. And we'll start to see a little bit of the smoke from there we go, there's Harry, he's hit Darren. Here's the contact. Oh, and luckily Josh doesn't get involved in that. So further in, Heafy goes wide. Now you're going to see Tom go straight off into the gravel. Nearly takes out Kieran. A little bit of a push and shove. Oh, well, so it was all a bit of a weird with that one. So Heafy kind of put a bit of a push, but nothing bad. And then unfortunately he was hit from behind, I think from Mike. Yeah, so unfortunately Harry just made his own mistake. There's big contact with Heafy, but luckily Heafy didn't actually go off himself.
No.
So
it ended a bit bad for Heafy, really.
Yeah,
but
the thing with Heafy is, Heafy is on unfortunately had a penalty from previous rounds at Red Bull for his outbreaking some of the contacts and some of the cutting of the circuit, so he's on his best behaviour today, and so it's not going to help him with the results if that ends up affecting him. So Craig now in the lead, so Darren's pole position unfortunately already taken away from him. Sam is in second, Darren is down to third now and going on board with Rob. This is good for Rob in behind Mark. And Mark again looking to continue with his good results. Josh looking to push to get up and catch up with Mike and Mark, and after it's a good set of results, but we've already seen Josh making a mistake earlier on, so it wasn't Josh's fault, and it's not going to help him with his points either. On board with Mike behind Joe. Don't forget these are all on the hard tyres here.
Yeah, which makes it look like there's battles for the hards and then there's battles for the softs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and it's good. It's one of the things that we've seen so far this season is the regular users of hard tyres in the first race tends to be Kieran, Josh, Mike quite often does, and then I think the unusual one here is Tom, who's decided to go onto the hards. and is actually teaming up with Kieran.
Does it for the last one.
Yeah, I think Tom's made some pretty poor decisions when it comes down to tyre choices. Maybe this will work out for him, but we'll see. Find out. At the moment he's down in 10th after going off. Maybe just not used to having those hard tyres on for the first few laps. So Harry now behind Kieran, who's up into 7th. The cars are settled a little, and Mark still ahead of Rob. Heafy in 4th on his own, but the battle here for the lead is still fairly close. We've got the two Parker brothers working together in 2nd and 3rd, so this will be a good podium for them, but ultimately Craig is still ahead of Darren, who's gone ahead of Sam, so maybe a little bit of teamwork there, but
obviously Darren's getting the faster laps in, got more of a chance to catch up with Craig.
Yeah, looking pretty good for Darren at the moment. It's not where he needs to be, but it's better than being much further away. Darren is used to looking at the back of that Nissan all season, to be honest, and probably sick and tired of the do not overtake sign that sits behind it. Darren's had a slight change of wheels for this round, a little bit more black, in my opinion, looking a little bit more aggressive, so maybe Darren's going for the fighting look. But at the moment it looks to be fairly settled. That's Sam and Stephen. Stephen running quite wide. It's quite a tight turn on this bend here. Rob also,
which is quite interesting because everyone's got a different line on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Literally, everyone's got a different attitude to deal with it. As
you can see with Mike there, Mike has been drifting for the last 2 or 3 rounds, and there's no change there. This is not the best start for Tom. I think he was probably hoping for better results or better racing position, but early days. On to lap 4, sorry, not 3. On board with Mike, and again Mike is having to keep an eye on Josh behind him at the same time as trying to fight Mark. And as we say, once this round is over with, it's only 4 left, and so every point counts. All the non-finishes, non-starts are going to hurt them a lot more now than ever before. Mike is actually getting past Tom there, so looking good. So we've got Heafy and Mark are together now. Something must have happened to Heafy, whether he's gone off, but Mark has caught up, and actually Rob is behind Mark, so this is a little battle that's started here. Oh, Rob goes slightly wide, nearly into the gravel.
This is where it gets a bit dangerous for Rob. Rob's got to try and find the right moment if he's close enough to overtake.
Yeah.
But either overtake one at a time or...
Bit of contact, but
nothing serious.
No, Mark's had a little bit of a touch. It's allowed Heafy to continue on. It's keep an eye for the lead, and Sam has just dropped a little bit back behind Darren. Oh, Darren's actually off. Darren spun out. I think he must have caught the back end of the wheels quite wrong there. So that's the thing with the rear wheel drives. They just wheel spin out, find it difficult. Yes. Rob on the back of Mark now, and onto lap 5. Now, as I've said in the last couple of rounds, Rob is improving and getting quicker and quicker in that Nissan. It's just
going into the corner.
Yeah, he's just
caught up then with Mark so quickly.
I think he just struggled to get the Nissan dialed up earlier on in the season to his style. Craig just fell into place with it, and Rob just didn't quite fit with his racing style, and he's looking a lot racier, a lot quicker in the last couple of rounds. So Rob on his way to getting hopefully his first podium, maybe even a win. Maybe. Harry on his own in 7th. So Tom, Craig, not Craig, Tom, Joe, Mike and Kieran all battling out here for 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. So this is looking nice and close here. This is Joe's third race. And
what he's doing, he's getting the hang of it. He's getting better,
yeah,
Joe.
Definitely, without a doubt.
As I say, through the season you can see who's improved, who's getting there bit by bit, slowly, but you can see them all improving.
Yeah. Well, Joe, the only one bringing the Mazda out, and it was a big choice. Tom in the gravel. Look. But yeah, big choice for Joe to go with something completely different. We've never seen the Mazda before until now, and its first race was a little bit shaky, but once he got a setup, it was a lot quicker, and he's becoming comfortable with it. Continuing on board with Tom.
Yeah, disadvantage for the Subarus are the straights, especially the big long one. Unless you're following someone to get that extra speed, but if you're in front, other cars have got so much of an advantage over you. But I've got to say, I don't think Josh is not liking the hard tyres on this track.
Maybe not the hard tyres and not the track. And as you can see, look, he's on the gravel running wide. I mean, this is the guy that we were seeing winning races both at Dragon Trail and at Red Bull. So Josh just starting to, needs to get his feet down and settled. Yeah. So Rob is up to 3rd. So something's happened to Darren. Darren is down to 7th. So I think Darren's had something happen. And unfortunately we've missed it, but Darren also struggling. This is bad news for Darren. Darren is behind Heathy and Harry, and it's not going to find it easy because Heathy's quick. Harry is also improving. Harry yet to find himself on the podium this season, but also, I mean, he's qualified 4th, and I think Harry is really good at qualifying, but just can't seem to get the race results at the moment.
No.
Further up then, this is Mark, who is just behind Rob, and these two have had a few good battles, and Rob, as I said, looking to potentially get his first podium here.
It seems like a trend going on with the Nissans and the Renaults behind.
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, thinking about it that way. Yeah, always the Renault behind the Nissan.
Yes.
I mean, we started off the season not knowing what the Nissans were capable of, and now we do know. The Renaults were very strong in season 1. And of course we had a set of Mustangs which we don't have. Craig had the Mustang and he was quick in it, but he's even quicker in the Nissan. And season 3 is yet to be announced with the regulations, but whether we keep the Renaults and the Nissans and the Subarus, or whether it will be a different set of cars, we'll find out hopefully towards the later end of the season. So Darren here, as you can see, I've said before, is
Really
just it's just sitting behind Heafy and Harry. He's not necessarily on the back of them the whole time, although saying that he's got a good run down the straight here into turn 1. And he's a bit of contact.
Running outside, yeah, he's done it.
Well done, Darren. So Darren up to 6th, but 6th is nowhere near what he needs. Oh, Heafy sideways, nearly spins it out. Well kept. Further up, this is Mark and Rob still again, and that's slowed Mark down big time there, so Rob's got it ahead now. We've got a bit of a gap, bit of breathing space. And Sam is out of touch with Craig at the moment. It's obviously good for Sam. Craig's looking comfortable, isn't he? Up ahead.
Yeah, slowly pulling away, but could it have been a different story if Darren was still up there?
Yeah, it's looking like another comfortable in the bag win for Craig, and this is going to increase that lead even further. And there's Josh doing some more
Really
rallycross.
not
Josh,
liking the track.
yeah, Josh has taken over Chris Hensby in this particular track. Chris spent a lot of time on the gravel, and so Josh thought, I'll have a bit of that fun.
To be fair, so far we haven't seen Rob go off track, off-roading.
Yes. Joe now, who's behind Tom. So Tom's managed to get past, but the two are still very close together. Let's see how quick that Mazda is down the straight, and as you can see, he's in the slipstream. He's catching fairly quickly as they come up to the first corner. Turn 1. Whoa, it's close, but
it's stick.
it's fair. Oh, a little bit of contact there, but
Not quite.
it's not too bad. Yeah. Again, seeing the different lines there. Joe goes a little bit wider than Tom. And into the next corner they go. They are so close together. This is great racing between Tom and Joe here. Tom defending hard. Joe looking for every inch of space on the inside, and it's just not happening at the moment. Let's go on board with Joe again.
Good line,
Yeah, he's got another good run. Oh, up on the inside.
Tom tries to defend, but
Oh, Tom's got really wide.
pushes it too much.
Yeah, way too much. So Tom now behind Joe, and this is a great battle for ninth. Joe now ahead of Tom. So but Joe's gone in the gravel. This race looks like it's going to continue on. Tom getting a bit wild in that Subaru around the. Yeah, look, the Christ, the wide turnout that ended up being further on. Mike on his own. Mike always ends up on his own in race 1 when he's on the hard tyres every time. So Harry now behind Heafy. As you can see in the far distance, Darren has gapped the two and up to 5th now. So making progress, but I think it's all too little, too late for Darren here. This is the last thing he needed. There's Darren.
Could he get onto the podium? How far is
Potentially, yeah. Or if you look, you've got Rob
just
ahead.
in front there.
Yeah, Mark and Rob aren't as close as what they were earlier.
You just see Darren just in the mirror view.
Yeah, he's got not very many laps left though. We're just coming round the last few corners up to the
laps.
Yeah, we're going to be on to 2 laps, so it's going to be very hard, very hard to do. Back down here, it looks like Harry is just a little bit closer to Heafy. Two similar looking cars livery wise, and both of them look like they've been out in the sun too much.
Oh, there goes Harry. Going for the overtake.
There's a good run up the inside. The two are side by side going down into turn 1. It's a very long straight, so you've got to get the braking points correct, and it's who can get the brakes on at the last minute, and it's Harry who wins. So Harry now ahead of Heafy. Heafy will no doubt try and get back onto Darren now, who doesn't look that much closer to Rob and Mark. And actually Rob and Mark have switched. Yep, Mark is now in front, so let's keep an eye on this, because Mark has got ahead. It's a shame for Rob.
Rob made a mistake.
Yeah, could have been just a small mistake, that's all it takes. And it looks like it's just unsettled Rob now, who's probably out of his rhythm. And when you've got that podium that you've been dying to get all season, and it's just not worked out, it can knock your confidence. Now Rob is no doubt going to overdrive the car to try and get that podium back again. And look at that, that's how close to Darren is now.
If you can try and get it so close as you can, then he's still got one full lap to try doing something about it.
Yeah.
It looks like Mark's slowly getting away.
Yeah, maybe it's all it needed. Maybe Mark did catch up with Rob.
Maybe.
So, as they go on to the final lap of the race, then further down, Harry is now back behind Heafy. This is a good race, because Harry is down on the outside of turn 1 now, but has got the speed again. So, side by side, this is fantastic racing between the two. Heafy's got the advantage. Can Harry get up and get the undercut? Not quite. I don't think it's worked out this time for Harry, but he is, look at him, right at the bumper of Heafy.
So there's 3 battles going on right now. Got for 9th place.
Yeah, there's Mike on his own again.
6th place.
Yeah.
And maybe for 3rd.
Tom and Joe at it again. So some people say that Catalunya is a bit of a boring circuit, and notoriously not the most exciting F1 race in the calendar. So I don't think many people were expecting this close racing from the tourists here at Catalunya, but it's certainly working out to being full of action. So we keep an eye on things back at the lead, and look at that, can you believe it, Craig is about to take the win. He nearly lapped Josh. Craig Kellett takes race 1, another 20 points in the bag, which puts him even further ahead of everyone else.
Sam taking 2nd.
Yeah, it's a good 2nd for Sam. He'll be pleased with that after coming away. It is. I don't think it's going to be for Darren. No. I think Mark gets it, so Mark's going to get the podium.
Oh.
Rob is going to take Biff.
No.
Yep. So Darren
just
gets it. Heafy's going to take 6th ahead of Harry. Mike takes 8th. Wonderfield drift round the last bend. No, not this time. And the fight between Joe and Tom has ended here. Tom's not close enough to take the attack to the line, so Joe gets 9th, Tom gets 10th, Kieran will take 11th, and of course Josh will take 12th, but he's a fair bit behind. This is going to hurt Josh, and no doubt it's going to frustrate him, and he will come away from this feeling pretty disappointed, and I think he needs to go away, have a hard think about what he needs to do for race 2. Here are your race 1 results then for Catalunya. Craig takes yet another win ahead of Sam in 2nd, and Mark takes the last podium position in 3rd. Darren takes 4th ahead of Rob in 5th. Stephen takes 6th. Harry is 7th, Mike is 8th, Joe is 9th, Tom is 10th, Kieran is 11th, and at the back is Josh in 12th. So what this means for the overall standings, Craig increases yet again to 272, Darren is in 2nd on 214, Mark now jumps ahead of Mike and Josh in 3rd with 187, Mike is down to 4th in 178, Josh is down to 5th after that last place with 177. Tom is in 6th with 168, and Kieran has been jumped ahead of by Sam with 132, Kieran on 127. Harry is on 118 in 9th. Rob is in 10th still with 105. Stephen is 11th with 90. Joe is 12th with 53. And then Gary, James and Chris all don't increase their points with 42, 27 and 15 respectively. Into the teams then. Elliot's still way ahead with 448 now. Parker on 402 and K-Tech on 383, who fall behind a little bit after being at the back on the hard tyres. Independents, Mark is still leading with 254. Mark is second with 239. Josh is third, 225. Harry is fourth, 189. Stephen is fifth, 125. Joe is 84. Gary, James and Chris, of course, don't increase their points at the back in 7th, 8th and 9th.